Imagine if you had the power of the mystical arts by your side. If you could draw mystic runes on objects and cast spells as you please.
These are runes, Wanda. In a given space, only the witch that casts the runes can use her magic.
While none of us can do that exactly, we can come very close. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. If you're here for the first time, my name is Vineet, and I've been practicing the magic of the mystical arts for 15 years. Wow, that is crazy. That is crazy to think about. If you're interested in learning a card trick that uses mystical magic while really having a lot of fun with the spectator, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and stick around. Let's do this. Alright guys, so check this out. And because you always ask, today we'll be using the Canis Lupus playing cards. We'll start off by giving the deck over to the spectator and having them shuffle it up as much as they'd like. Let's just say this much is good enough for now. So we'll just take the top card to make life a little bit easier, and you can see it is the 2 of diamonds. We'll say this is the spectator's card. Now, there is a connection between the mystic symbols and a person. So if I were to go ahead and draw your mystic symbol right on the card, which I'll do right now, I have to make it a little bit darker so that you can see. There we go. Almost there. Okay. Now I have drawn a mystic rune on this playing card. Hopefully you can see that. Since I've drawn it with a pencil, it's not the clearest, but hopefully you can see that. Now we want to strengthen that connection between this symbol and a spectator. So if I had a spectator here, I would also have them sign this card, or in my case, I'll just initial it with the letter V. And wow, drawing an S is very difficult on a playing card with a pencil. So you can see I kind of did that, did a V and an S right over here. All right. So now there is a bond between this mystic symbol and myself, or in this case, the spectator. So I'll have the spectator take the deck like this. I'm going to turn around, turn away. I can leave the room. I'm going to have the spectator deal as many cards as they like. And whenever they feel like stopping, they can go ahead and stop just right here. They can take these pile, put it right on top of the deck, and then give the deck as many cuts as they would like. All right. There is no end to the amount of cuts that they can give. All right. Once the spectator has completed all this, I'm going to come back as the performer, and now I'm going to test the bond between a spectator and their card. And of course, this bond is strengthened by that initial and that mystic symbol. So I'm going to have the spectator hold their hand out, and I'm going to place the deck right on the spectator's hand. Now I'm going to start dealing cards one at a time. And I'm going to deal cards until I feel that the connection is there. Now, I'm not feeling the connection between any of these cards just yet. No, none of these, none of these. I want you to just think of your card really well. I think that kind of helps to strengthen that connection. Not this, not this. Hold on. I think it's this one. I think it's this card right here. None of these other cards matter. There was one card that we drew a mystic symbol on that you signed. And because of the strength in that bond, I was able to sense it. And here's your card, the only card with the symbol drawn on it and initialed by you, the 2 of diamonds. All right, welcome to the tutorial. Just to give you a little bit of background on this effect, it is known as Z-Ray by Carl Fulves. Now, I want to give you some of my input into this effect, a few changes I made, and talk about the original effect as well. So all that being said, let's go ahead and break it down. Now, what's great about this effect is that it can be done with any borrowed deck, and it's completely impromptu. The only thing you need is a deck of playing cards and a pencil. And keep in mind, I said pencil, not a Sharpie or a pen, a pencil. All right, so I'll take that, leave it right there for now. So you want to start off this trick with a card selected by a spectator. Now, what I like to do is I do a little bit of a setup for this effect, right? Even though it's completely impromptu, it could be done that way. I like to do it with some kind of setup. Because as you've seen from my performance, I used cards that had a bit of extra room on them, right? Like for example, this 2 of diamonds. I made sure I had some room here so that I could actually draw the symbol, have plenty of room to do things. So when I go through and select a card, I usually pick a 2 or a 4, okay? So I pick a 2 or a 4 and I control that to the top of the deck. So in the action of, even let's say you're ready, you borrow someone's deck, you go through, you see a card you want, like a 2 or a 4, you just call that right up to the top and you're all set. Oops, you're all set to get started. Now, if you don't know how to do the call, I'll put the link on the screen. You can go ahead and check it out. But honestly, if you're going through the deck in front of the spectator, you can literally just come here, split this in half, and you're good to go. Either way, completely up to you. Another method, if you choose to do so, is you can hand the deck over to the spectator. They can shuffle it up as much as they'd like, and then you just take the top card, or you have them pick a card from the center and place it on top. Again, completely up to you on how you want to approach that. But once you have your card up top, I'd recommend using the first method. You have the card up top, then you're going to draw a mystical symbol. And now, one thing to keep in mind, remember when I was doing the trick, I slid this card down just a small amount, maybe about this much. I'm horrible with distance, so that's the best you're gonna get. But I slid the card down this much so that 1, it gives me the opportunity to draw a symbol on the card, and 2, so that I could draw a very small dot on the card underneath this card, right? So as I'm coming here, thinking about drawing, I actually take a second usually, and I say, okay, and while I'm explaining to the spectator what's about to happen about the mystic symbols, the magic runes, I come here, I draw a dot on the playing card, and it's very, very hard to see on screen, but there's a very small dot drawn right over here. Let me see if I can give you a close-up. So now that you've drawn the dot while talking, and your talking is kind of your misdirection, now you want to draw the symbol on top of the 4 of spades. And really, you can draw any mystic symbol you'd like. As long as you think you like it, you think it looks cool, you can go with it. But in the original effect, we have a triangle here. And keep in mind, since you're using a pencil, you have to draw over it a couple times just to ensure that it's actually visible, right? So you draw a symbol, I usually just do a triangle, draw a line coming out of there, and then make that into like an arrow. And there we have a mystic rune that we've drawn. Now we tell the spectator we want to build a connection with this mystic symbol and the spectator, right? So the only way to do that is to have them initial this playing card, okay? So you have them initial the playing card, and again, you can go with either, the first, last name, you can go with just first name, whatever you want to do, but you have them initial the playing card. Just to make the little things a little easier, I'm just going to draw a V right over there on the side. So now that we've done that, one thing I did not, did I say this? I'm gonna say it anyway. You do not want to bring the card back up, because that seems like you're trying to conceal something. If you have the card here, I guarantee you no one's gonna see that small dot right over there. So you can just do this, have them sign, okay, you're good to go. Now you can take this card, turn it face down, and hand the deck over to the spectator. Once the spectator has the deck, you can close your eyes, you can turn around, it's pretty awesome. You have them deal out cards one at a time until they're ready to stop. All right, so they can deal out cards as much as they want. Let's just say right around here. Then you have them take this pile, put it right back on top the rest of the deck. Now, what in theory you've actually done is you've created a key card. And all you're really doing is counting down to that key card. So in my case, I also allowed the spectator to give the deck a couple of cuts. And really, the cuts don't mix up with the key card. The worst that can happen is the key card's on top and the spectator selected card's on the bottom. But if that's the case, you can literally just give the deck one cut, because you'll notice the dot there. So what you'll do is you'll keep dealing off, keep dealing off, keep dealing off, until you find the spectator selected card, which is going to be right after the card that you have dotted. If I can find the dotted card, there it is. So there's the dotted card, right? So this is the random card right here, and that's the card that the spectator actually had, right? So again, we're using the dot as a key card to symbolize the card right after is going to be their selected card. Now, what I would do in terms of performance, oh, we lost the dotted card. So what I would do in terms of performance here is, knowing that their card is lost somewhere in the deck, I'd hand this over to the spectator, have them hold it in their hand. And I convey the idea of it'll help them strengthen the bond between their card and them. So then you can do the dealing yourself until you get to their card. And that's it. That is the magic in this simple little effect using the mystic magic runes. Isn't it great? You build that connection with the spectator, you have them do the work of losing the card into the deck, and then you come through with your mystic powers. Amazing. If you want to learn more card tricks that involve the spectator and get some great reactions at the end, make sure to check out that card trick right there. You will not regret it. Thank you for spending your time with me. It's always a pleasure when you're here. Hope you have a great day ahead, and maybe I'll see you in that video.